Good evening and welcome to the program, The Desk on Global Television. Time for us to look at very silent issues making the rounds. We'll be talking about very great issues from the fraud-related issue concerning TETFORM, where TETFORM is alleged to have paid 2.9 billion naira for unexecuted product. We'll also be going to Ondo State, talking about Ondo 2024, where the APC declares Ayede toward candidate for the governorship polls. We'll be looking at the implications of that. Also, we'll be taking a driver to Rivers State, where the Rivers crisis is still brewing as Rivers Assembly loyalist to Wike overrides Fubara. We'll be looking at that talking point. We'll also be looking at the official visit of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to the Netherlands and Saudi Arabia. And from the education sector comes the talking point as regards the tertiary entry age. Government has pegged 18 years as the minimum age for entry into any of Nigeria's tertiary institutions. Now, from the security matters, we'll be looking at the issue of state police, which has become a very, very heated debate across the country, with the IGP of police differing with what President Bola Tinubu feels as regards the establishment of state police. These and all other stories is what we'll be looking at on today's edition of the program. The desk will be joined live via Zoom by the former Director of News of the Voice of Nigeria in the person of Ahazia Suleiman, and also in the coming days moment, hopefully we'll be joined by Victor Isede, who is the coordinator of Restore Nigeria Integrity. We join us via Zoom also, and hopefully Dr. Moses Sali will be joining us in the course of the program. All right, good evening, Ahazia Suleiman. Thank you for joining us on the desk. Good evening, Ahazia. All right, I think let's move for a very quick break. When we return from the break, we'll start our discourse as regards one of the very interesting talking points, looking at the fact that the Nigerian police force said Nigeria is not yet ready. Okay, we've got Ahazia. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the desk.
Thank you, Tony. Good evening.
All right, let's begin our discourse. First of all, the Nigerian police force said Nigeria is not yet ready for the establishment of state-controlled police. The Inspector General of Police, in the person of Kayode Egbetokun, says Nigeria is not mature to operate a state government-controlled police. Egbetokun stated this at the dialogue on the state of police organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review. The IGP, who was represented by Ben Okolo, an Assistant Inspector General of Police of the Nigerian Police Force, said the National Assembly should instead merge the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRS, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps as department under the Federal Police. He stated that the police are opposed to the idea of a state police, but urged the lawmakers to properly fund existing federal policing structure. He also argued that the state policing would further exacerbate the existing ethnic tension in Nigeria. The speech was met with jeers and loud protest from the audience, who booed Mr. Okolo. Egbetokun's position is against the publicly expressed stance of the president. For you, do you think the IGP is just trying to protect his own territory rather than look at it from a broader perspective, the positives rather than the negatives?
Honestly speaking, Tony, if you are hearing me, I'm with the IGP. From what we've learned and what we have seen happening in the political scene, and how governors manipulate even the federal police in doing their bidding, I don't think we are right for having states to establish their own police force. Honestly speaking, the case in point just recently, the former governor of Kogi, how the state governor used all the security apparatus, the policemen attached to him, to shield him from being arrested by EFCC. And I think it is just one case out of many that are happening like that. In some cases, in some states, the governors direct, and when you challenge them, they will tell you the police commissioner is not under his control, it's under the IGP. And when the IGP is saying that states are not yet ready for to own their own police, honestly speaking, that is the right thing. Yes, as good as the idea may be, honestly speaking, with the kind of caliber of politicians that we have today, they will just pocket them and send them after their enemies, and there won't be any election in some areas. They will just ask the police, their own police, to block everywhere, and there's nothing you can do about it. And therefore, I am saying, I am with the IGP, and the issue of merger of civil defense and road safety under the police to be departments. No, the more the merrier for us. We need more of these agencies. Road safety, Federal Road Safety Corps, they are specialized in maintaining, manning traffic and vehicles and everything that has to do with transportation. They are not the day-to-day kind of policemen that will keep watch. So let them, instead of MTD, the Motor Traffic Division of the police, those ones are the ones should be merged to the road safety. And civil defense, they are more respected today, I'm telling you, more than the police, because they are, the way they are trained, they are not as corrupt as the police are, and therefore, I am against the issue of merging those two agencies under the Nigerian police. Allow the federal police to be as it were, and do not hand over this power to state governors. Once you hand over to them, we are doomed, and we are doomed. When the time comes, when we are ripe for such a thing, it will automatically come to be. Otherwise, as it is now, not the current set of politicians that we have in this country, that winner takes all, and they will want to dominate and occupy and silence their own opponents. There's no opposition.
Are you saying, are you saying, indirectly, are you saying all the state governors are corrupt? None of them would do the right thing? And if we do not try, how can we, get better? And what's the guarantee? This is just an assumption that the governor, yes, we know that some of them have their antics or their antecedent has shown that they might use it wrongly. But if we don't try it, how can we prove a point that all of them, all the 36 state governors are going to do the same thing? And my second question is, do you think the Nigerian police force is afraid with the growth and how, like you rightly pointed out, how respected and the feats the road safety has achieved and the civil defense? That's why they want them merged and put under the Department of the Nigerian Police is as corrupt as records have shown.
Let me tell you, the issue of the state governors, go to every state. When Wike was governor of Rivers, and he had issues even with the army, because he was claiming that he was the chief security officer of that state, and he can do and undo, and whatever he can do. It is like that in all the states. I'm not saying they are corrupt, but they aggregate powers that don't belong to them, to themselves. And it is what they want that is done. And they pocket police commissioners and direct them as they want. Any election day, if you have gone around to cover election, which I have done from 1999 till date, you will see how the kind of security men that they go with, the fanfare of security men, the guard, as if we are going to war. And that is what they unleash on their opponents. The opponents will not have any say at all. And therefore, I am saying that as good as the idea is, it is still not the time. Let's reorganize ourselves. Let this country understand the value of some of these people and allow the rule of law to be before you can come up with that. The issue of road safety or civil defense being envious or jealous that they are achieving much, it doesn't arise because the civil defense, and they are cut out, at least there are laws that establish them. There are laws that establish the federal road safety, and work schedule is cut out for them completely. That we should allow them to do it. We are a population of over 200 million, for Christ's sake. When you match them, definitely some people have to go. Is that what we are trying to do? But allow them to operate as they were. And we are seeing sanity on our roads because of road safety. We are having some civil understanding because of the Civil Defense Corps. And therefore, allow the police to do their own, to maintain their internal security, the military, their external and border security for us, and let everybody be. Why are we merging and merging and merging? In the first instance, those who had the dream of establishing, or the founding fathers that established these agencies, they had their ideas. What has gone wrong with what they have planned and why they established these agencies? Nothing has gone wrong. They are doing their best. So why should we, at this tail end, and we are trying to bring up power under one man? Let me go to you. Biblically, when Moses was leading the children of Israel in the wilderness, his in-law came to him and said, you will wear yourself down if you don't delegate responsibilities. And that made Moses to appoint some judges who were helping him. And that is the kind of thing you must learn, to delegate responsibilities to people. Even when they appoint and you say this one is heading this and heading this, the ball fall, the whole thing comes to the bulk of the IG. And it will be too much for him. Now we have a co-marshal, we have a commandant, we have the IGP. They meet at their own instances and share ideas. We shall not and we should not consider merging these agencies. The more, the merrier, and better ideas will come from different set of people. They are cut out for different roles, and let them continue doing what they are doing completely. And the issue of state governors controlling the security, check. Let me tell you, Tony, today, check. Local government elections in all the states. The ruling party in that state takes it all because they deny the opposition from standing for election. And that is why I stand to be corrected that all the state governors are guilty of that.
All right. Now, thank you for starting the show with the first salvo. Let's also get Victor Isede, who is the coordinator of a Restore Nigeria Integrity Initiative, joining us also in the conversation. Victor, thank you for joining us on the desk. You've heard Suleiman with his views as regards the issue of state police. Are you there, Victor? Victor, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, I think Victor not so. All right, Suleiman, let's finish up our conversation. On the final note, as regards this state policing, now that the IGP seems of state police, do you think he's going to sabotage the federal government's and the lawmakers' effort towards establishing the state police across the 36 states of the Federation? And how do you see this panning out? And do you think this might also lead to his removal from office if the government feels he's going to sabotage the effort?
He's not sabotaging, he's just giving a technical advice. And if they like it, they take it. If they don't like, so be it. Because he is an appointee of the president, and whatever, he will give him the technical advice and give his own reasons why it should not be so. But if the government likes, they take it. If they don't like, they throw it aside. Once the lawmakers legislate against it, there's nothing the IGP can do, and rather than to comply and agree with the formation of state police. But it's a very good idea. In colonial era, though I was not born and I was not, but I knew when I was a kid, we used to see in the north here what we call Dendoka with the short knickers. They come and they were controlled by the states. And at that time, the awareness or the issue of people giving themselves powers that don't belong to their blood is just part of, he is expressing his own personal opinion. He's not a lawmaker that will legislate and give a fiat that this thing should be done. He is suggesting based on technicalities, and I expect the experts to advise government on what to do or what not to do. Yes, I read that President Jonathan and General Abdul Salami in support of the creation of state police is because of the banditry and kidnapping and Boko Haram that has ravaged this country. But going beyond that, honestly speaking, these things is not called by the federal police that when you create, all of them have the vigilante that they fund. We have the Omek Tekun, we have the Eastern whatever. We have the Bakassi boys and Ekomog in Borno and Yobe. All of them, they are funded by the state government. What have they been able to do? Have they been able to curtail and reduce the insecurity in the states? It's the same way the state-owned police that will do. So therefore, empower the police, empower the military, give them free hand, no interference from government quarters, and allow them to do what is supposed to be done. Give them free hand and see what they will do. If I tell you some of these things, let me tell you, the few friends that we have in the military and even the police, when Boko Haram was at its peak, they will be seeing Boko Haram. And once you want to attack them, they'll say, freeze, hold on, reverse, go back. Command from top. Who is that giving the command? Give these military men and the policemen the free hand to operate and see what will happen. If they don't finish with this bandit and all these kidnapping and everything, give them the free hand. There are some people, powers that be, we don't know who they are faceless, that are operating and dictating. And so these are the people that we have to unravel, we have to unmask and let the police and the military do their work, and you will see what will happen.
All right, we urge you to also try to readjust your cameras so that we can have a better view of you. Okay. All right, still looking at, I don't know if Victor Itsede has finally joined us on the conversation. All right, Victor, are you there? All right, let's move on to the next talking point, which has to do with financial infractions. A report reaching us tells us that 5 days before the end of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, a tertiary institutions funding agency under the Federal Ministry of Education, did award a contract worth 3.8 billion naira in disregard for the law without any evidence of execution of the contract. Investigations by the revealed that the agency paid a contractor a total of 2.9 billion naira in 4 installments between 30th June and 17 November 2023 in violation of the law establishing it. TETFund sourced the funding for the project from the 2023 annual direct disbursement budget domiciled in the agency for the use of about 251 beneficiaries in terms of institution. Let's look at this issue in terms of the fact that these monies were disbursed without going through the right procedure, and especially towards the end, 5 days to the end of Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Should we be probing TETFund and also the government of Muhammadu Buhari in terms of the quantum of
I think TETFund has done a lot in the TETFund has done a lot in the past, and that the twilight of the previous administration, they were making such payments. It's unfortunate. The anti-graft agencies, ICPC, EFCC, should wield the big stick and investigate. Why should such money, was that money used to settle certain persons that helped the ruling party to come to power, or was it generally true that contracts were fictitious, contracts were awarded? The anti-graft agencies should be able to unravel that. Is good that whistleblowers are coming up with such things. Then it means this present administration's war against corruption is working, because we are noticing and seeing some of these things. It is the same party in power that is unraveling these kind of things, and it's a good thing. It's a good sign that the anti-graft war is really working. It's not just a lip service, and therefore we honestly have to allow them to do the needful and find out Let it not be like the WAEC money, that how many million that a snake chopped in Benue State in years past. So let them do the needful and bring it. My problem is this. They will bring up an issue like this. How it ends, how it concluded, nobody will tell us that this is the end of it. And it behoves on us, you and I as journalists, that we need to really follow up on these stories until it is concluded. And we know that TED Fund awarded this kind of contract and paid this money 5 days to the end of Buhari's tenure. Otherwise, we are doing this country disservice. We just report when the TED is thrown open, and at the end of the day, we don't follow it up. Follow up stories till the conclusion is very, very important for the media, holding those in authority accountable, even the anti-graft agencies. If we relax, and they will also relax, let us hold them accountable, continue to find out and to follow up. If the case go to court, we follow out and report this is the stage at which they are. With that, if they are naming and shaming and we find the truth of the whole thing, it will reduce the way people do things and they go scot-free without being challenged. And so this is a challenge for us as media men. We should follow up stories until they are concluded.
All right. Are you worried that the fraud we're seeing now is even getting into the education sector? For TED Fund that had a very good reputation before now is involved in such an infraction?
I'm not surprised. I said from the beginning, when you asked this question, I said TED Fund had done a lot of work. Go to all the universities, state-owned, federal-owned in this country, you will see TED Fund projects. Whether the monies were inflated or not, but we've seen fiscal projects on site in the universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. Now, there has been change of leadership 3 times between the time Jonathan left power and now. And so, those leaders, who is the one being accused now? If he doesn't have the patriotism of the previous ones, then he needs to leave and give way for somebody that is more competent and more patriotic and less corrupt to handle that affair. But TED Fund in the past, honestly, even the university, well, it is an agency of federal government. I was going to say even the government has not done as much as, but it's an agency of government. So therefore, it is the government working through them to develop infrastructure in all the tertiary institutions in this country. And they've done well in the past. But who is the leader that is being accused of this infraction? So therefore, the government, the anti-graft agencies must wake up today and investigate thoroughly. If the guy is found guilty, he should go to jail. And let's begin to name and shame and begin to jail people for corruption. Then others following will say, if I do this, my name, my reputation. But when you commit any crime, you leave, you carry your money and go. What they give you in your community is chieftaincy titles. Haba, chieftaincy title. You are given chieftaincy title for looting Nigeria's money. I think this shouldn't be. We shouldn't kind of praise and begin to celebrate mediocrity and corrupt persons.
All right, well said there. Okay, let's take our discussion quickly to Ondo State, where the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has been declared the winner of the governorship primaries of the All Progressive Congress held on Saturday. By the declaration, he becomes the party's candidate for the forthcoming 16 November governorship election in the state. Meanwhile, the chairman of the election committee and governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, made the declaration in the early hours of Monday in Akure after a presentation of a result from the 18 local government areas of the state. Ododo declared that Aiyedatiwa scored a 48,569 votes to beat 15 other aspirants to the ticket. Aiyedatiwa was closely followed by Mayowa Akin Folarin, who polled 15,343 votes, followed by Olushola Oke, who garnered 14,915 votes. And we've got Jimo Ibrahim, the 7th Senator of Ondo South, polling 9,456 votes. Then Wale Akin Teriwa scored just 1,952 votes. Isaac Kekemeke, 1,045 votes. And Benga Idema with 395 votes. Then we have Olamide, who scored Olamide Ohu Yeye, scored 424 votes. Looking at this fallout, there were no results from Ife Dore local government area, as reported by the returning officer for the local government. Do you think? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm saying, looking at what has played out in Ondo State in the primaries, with Ayedatiwa emerging the APC candidate, what are your expectations in the coming elections, especially knowing fully well that Ayedatiwa also has his own enemies who did not want him to, emerge as the APC candidate, with lots of issue as regards his credentials being forged, allegedly forged, and all that. Do you think this is a setup for him or the APC?
Yeah, calls have been coming in to distract. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Okay. I was saying that he used the power of incumbency as the sitting governor right now. People from outside cannot just come and push him aside. He said, he declared even before the primaries that there was no vacancy in Akure government house. So he was determined to win, and he had all the paraphernalia of the incumbency, the powers that he has to do whatever. But after the primaries, after he was declared as the party candidate, some of the aspirants protested. They say they will not agree with the outcome of the results. So we were not all there. Was there rigging? If he won free and fair, I don't think they should complain. Rather, they should join hands with him, because he has extended an olive leaf to those who contested with him to come and join hands with him, so that they clinch the governorship election. Otherwise, they'll be giving room for the opponents in PDP and Labour Party to come and clinch the seat of the governor. But no election in Nigeria goes without people complaining. No matter how you try, they will say there was manipulation here and there, and that is exactly what is playing out in Ondo State. The people, the candidates, the aspirants, also have been complaining bitterly that they want to appeal to the appeals committee of the party that the election was not free and fair. And so all we need to let them come together, unite, and move the party forward to clinch to the governorship ticket, not the ticket now, this time around the seat when the elections come.
Looking at the issue of forged credentials, do you think this is going to turn around to bite him at the end of the day? Do you think it's a trap, like some persons are alleging?
Tony, let me come in there directly. You see, he was the deputy governor, and he was screened and passed, isn't it?
Yes.
If you scale that, there's nothing fabrication that will come now that will change what he submitted, and he became the deputy governor before becoming the governor in the past. So I don't think they have any genuine reason. It's just as I said, in all elections in Nigeria, we must find one excuse or the other to protest or to say the elections were not free and fair, even when it seems to be very free and fair. They know what they have seen. They'll go there and jeopardize their party's chances if they try to sabotage whatever, because I don't think they will have the wherewithal and the strength and muscle to clinch the governorship if more than him that is sitting on the seat right now.
All right, we've got Victor joining us, Victor Isede, who is the coordinator of Restore Nigeria Integrity Initiative. Victor, thank you for joining us on the desk.
I want to thank you to thank the viewers, Nigerians.
All right, Victor, let's get your take as regards first the issue of state policing, where the IGP of police, Kayode Igbetokun, is against the initiative of establishing state police. He said he rather they merge the the civil defense and the road safety together to be a department under the Nigerian police force, saying Nigeria is not matured enough to have state police scheme. Do you agree with him? Victor, your audio is not. We can barely hear you, Victor. Can you
hear me
remove
now?
the earpiece? Remove the earpiece.
Okay, let me remove the earpiece.
Better.
You can hear me?
Better now.
I agree with him totally, because Nigeria, we seem to fool ourselves here. We say we are practicing federalism, but that is not true. If you look at, let me give you an example of what's going on presently so that you can juxtapose it with this issue of state police. The issue of traditional rulers, we don't even have a role for them. Now, if you are creating a state police, how is the police council going to look like? Have you
All right, I think we're missing Victor there. Network quality not good enough. Hopefully,
how the traditional rulers from community police governors, if you look at the impunity in the system, the governors perpetrate more impunity than even the president. The president office is already guarded. It's an office that everybody seems to look at. But the governors, they
Victor, are you there? I think Paul
they seem to behave like the governor told the person, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. A former governor once told somebody, he said, as you are looking from this place that I'm standing to the sky, I'm in charge. That's what a former governor said. I won't mention his name. But these are issues that if all these governors are giving, look at Yaya Bello that they are pursuing up and down now. When it was the whole road, he demarcated of election. So if that kind of person has police in his pocket, state police, what will he do? There are issues we should look at, and let us be frank with ourselves. There must be a constitutional review. If you want to have state police, that constitutional review the beginning, this police council will be, the governors have no role to play. Even the president ought not to be the one appointing the IG of police. Even the federal police itself is also skewed in such a way that the president has so much control over it. Look at the federal police. Over half of their men are guiding VIPs. If half of their men are guiding VIPs, then what are we going to talk about state police? Then you will now see that the wife of the governor and all those other people, they will be carrying these patches. So what we think we could do is for us to have a system where the Nigerian, we should all come down, let us have restructuring. If we are going to have regional police, it's even better than state police. Ametoku is trying to do something good in the West because it seems to be regional, despite it has its own.
I think Victor, we urge you to try and resolve your
anything in Nigeria. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think do well to resolve your network issue. It's breaking every second, and so it's hard for us to follow.
There's a call. It's a call that was scattered entering my phone.
Okay, so we urge you to sort it out first, then you can rejoin us so that we don't have these interruptions, so that we can follow.
Let me sort that call out. But okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's go back to Suleiman. Suleiman, thank you for holding on. Let's finish up our discussions as regards the Ondo elections. For you, do you think the other parties involved in this upcoming November elections don't stand a chance of beating the current incumbent ruling party in the state?
Well, the issue is if they allow free and fair election, depending on what the APC government has done in the state for the past 7.5 years, if they've done well, they might. Otherwise, there's a wind of change that is blowing across the country. Believe you me, people want things new. And if they have not performed, honestly speaking, either Labour or PDP will give them a run for their money. And it will not be easy. It will not just be a tea party for them, just go there and win as they think. I remember very well when Mimiko, the Iroko, was the governor. The late governor, Akeredolu, came and was of the ACN. Mimiko crossed over to Labour Party. Is it Zenith Labour or Labour Party? And clinched the governorship because of what he has done in the state. People came out and voted for him. If the present administration from 2019 or 2015 till date, if they have not performed 2016, I mean, if they have not performed well, people will always go for an alternative party, and particularly if the opposition parties in the state feel are very credible and forward-looking candidates, then it will be a very tough one for the ruling party. It's not the first time that a sitting governor will be defeated in an election like that. So I think they have to boggle up and sort themselves out and unite themselves if they want to return. That's it. Otherwise, believe you me, they will be out of office.
All right, let's go for a quick break. We urge you to rejoin us in the next 5 minutes. Suleiman, thank you for joining us. Rejoin us in the next 5 minutes. Let's go for a quick break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Just to wrap it up with some other headline stories making the rounds, where the Rivers State House of Assembly has overridden Governor Sim Fubara's withdrawal of assent to the amended local government bill. The House of Assembly dispensed Fubara's assent to the bill to make it an enforceable law in the state. On Monday, the lawmakers overrode Fubara's veto of the bill with a two-thirds majority of the members of the House of Assembly, making it the fifth time in 4 months that they have enacted laws without the governor's assent. The lawmakers who are loyal to the former governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, took the decision during their 159th sitting, citing a statement, to abide to the speaker, talking about the media aid to the speaker, Martin Wachuku. The bill was earlier passed on 13 March and forwarded to the governor for assent, but Fubara allegedly declined assent. The House had on 22nd March passed Rivers State Assembly Service Commission into law, stripping Fubara of the power to appoint the chairperson and members of the commission and confer the power on its self. Meanwhile, the lawmakers, in the exercise of its power in the new law, appointed, screened, and confirmed the members of the commission according to the statement by the Speaker's aide on Monday. Meanwhile, the members of the commission include Abenye Pepple as the chairman and Blessing Derefaka, and also Bara Robinson and Dorcas Amos as a member. So we'll look at okay, Suleiman, are you there? Ahazia Suleiman, are you there? All right, I seem to have lost Suleiman. So that's what's playing out in Rivers State. Hopefully, in our next edition, we'll be looking keenly as to what is playing out in Rivers State as regards the show of legislative rascality in the Rivers State and what this means for the people of Rivers State, and hoping that a solution will be reached, or a truce might be reached, so that the people of Rivers State will get the best form of governance. That's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program. The desk going to say thank you to Ahazia Suleiman, the former director of news of Voice of Nigeria, and also Victor Isede, who is the coordinator of Restore Nigeria Integrity Initiative, for joining us on the program. My name is Anthony Momodu, saying thank you for joining me. Good evening.